Her smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a saint, but if you push her, oh Lordy. A straight talker is smiley. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can matter. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you want Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel fear.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, H. Davis. Choo-chee, good to see you. Hello, hello. Let's see what you're saying. Yes, please be kind and hit that like button. Choo-choo. Please hit that like button. Thank you, and please be kind and respectful. Hello, Daniel Berry Sports Highlight. Hello, happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. It is hump day. We are getting over this hump. This night's almost over with too. Happy November 12th, 2025. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. It's good to see you in here tonight. Some of you were in here today, and I am just so glad to see you. Peekaboo, I see you, but you can't see me. I'm just joking. I'm just playing around with y'all. Y'all doing okay today? I hope everybody is doing fine. Fine, fine, fine. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm doing good, H. Davis. Thank you for asking. I'm glad you're doing okay too. It's good to see you as always. Smiley, I have a great news. Your cat is doing better. Oh my God, that is great news. Thank goodness. I know you were worried sick. Oh, I'm so happy. Yay. Well, give that cat bunches of loves and all kinds of things. And I know you will. I absolutely know you will. So welcome in, everybody. I'm going to read a short disclaimer here that this live is definitely for educational purposes and awareness purposes. And nothing in this live video that I'm having tonight is meant to accuse anyone, to target anyone, or to harm anyone, not any individual, not any business, not anyone. All information here discussed has been based on public knowledge and sources and everything that's already out there in the open. I think this is very important. It goes on not just here, but it goes on everywhere. And I just wanted to bring it to light because some people don't even understand this word and what it means. Trafficking. It can mean a bunch of different things, but tonight we're going to be talking about the hidden trafficking ring that Panama City had, the girls that nobody saw. And this was back in sometime in the 2000s, back in 2000. But people, they seem to shun this. They seem to act like it don't exist. They seem to push it under the rug. They seem to just walk on by. And the more I'm reading and the more I'm studying and the more I'm going on and on about it, I'm like, it's sad. We all know it's sad, but it needs to be told. It goes on in every city and every state. This just happens to be mine. Now, it's happened plenty of times before. Florida's got strict, and Florida changed their laws because of this very thing back in 2000. But it happens everywhere. This may be triggering for some to watch, so there is a trigger warning ahead of time. There is, I think, some very important things we can all take away from this. One, there is judgment in here. Don't do that, because you never know what somebody's going through. Hey, Michelle's Jewelry, good to see you. Good to see you, honey. Because a lot of times we may think it's one thing and it may be something else. We never know what somebody's going through. We never know. But this is for learning, teaching, and education. So comments are always welcome. Just be respectful about it. It's our thoughts and our opinions and our discussion, mostly. I hope others will never get caught up in something as awful as this. I don't care what side you're on. It should never happen. But it does happen. It happens everywhere. And I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. Please, again, no little ears. Hey, Lock Lady. Good to see you, honey. Love you much. You posted on my last live and sent me an email. I'll check it. Love you much. Love you bunches. So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to my chat. I appreciate you being here, and I thank you for spending some time with me. I know there's a lot more things you'd rather be doing, but I am so glad that you're back spending some time with me. And something that happened right here in my backyard and right here in Panama City and Panama City Beach, and it can happen in yours as well. So, thank you for being here. What I'm going to talk about is a story most people never even heard of. Many people never wanted to talk about. They still don't want to talk about. Again, they want to sweep it under the rugs. But the truth does not need permission. Isn't that what I say? To be told. It does not need permission to be told. And tonight, I'm telling it. Okay, I'm just going to get to it. I'm going to get to it. Most people think human trafficking is something that happens in big cities like Atlanta, Miami, Houston, and places like that. Hey, Millie, good to see you. That is not true. It's not true. The truth is Panama City Beach. Hey, we was once ground zero, honey, for underage trafficking. This is a big tourist town right here. And we were probably the biggest hub in Florida at one time. And it was hidden in plain sight. Tourism, spring break, the nightlife, the clubs, the condos, what everybody would think was a dream, right? These became the perfect hunting grounds for those hunters. Between the late 1990s and 2000s, law enforcement started noticing an increased pattern. A pattern of runaway girls, a pattern of foster kids, a pattern of homeless teens. Many local girls from unstable homes. Oh, and there's still plenty of those here. There was a lot of them showing up in the parking lots, in the back rooms, in the hotel rooms, at condos right there on Thomas Drive. They would even put them in escort ads. Most of them kids were 14 to 17 years old. Swallow that pill. That's a bitter pill to swallow. They were approached by adults offering a place to stay, very fast money, food. They were promised safety, or at least attention they was not getting at home. And once they got it, they could not get out of it, just like a gang. Once they was there, they were stuck. Hey, Beth Ann, good to see you. It was like it was no way out. They just couldn't get out. And these are kids. They were kids. It always seemed like it was a one-way street with a dead end, one way in, and zero ways out. So this is how the system operated. They had recruiters. They had men and women. They targeted all the vulnerable girls. They offered them all the drugs, the Xanax. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this, okay? There's too much in here to cover for me to be hum-hauling around. So they gave them Xanax. They tried to get them hooked. They moved them between condos to hotels to clubs. Some clubs looked the other way. Some clubs are not here no more. Just saying. Thank you, Millie, for that. Let me put it up here. Some of the staff was directly involved. They had no idea. Tourists, especially during spring break, they created a high demand. Money was laundered. Yes, money was laundered here, believe it or not. Believe it or not, money was laundered through fake escort services and modeling agencies. That was a big one. That used to be so big here. Not so much anymore. You would see all them ads in Craigslist. Oh my God, even under jobs. They would lure these kids in. Hell, they would allure some adults in. Some girls disappeared for days, some for weeks, some never got to come back home. Some are still missing. I think it's important to stress to you, you need to look out at these things everywhere. It happens everywhere. Every city, not just Panama City or not just Panama City Beach, every state, every city. And that's why I feel like it's so important to do this. It happens. It happens every day. It's happening right now as we speak. Hey, Fly Girl, good to see you, honey. And the more knowledge we have, because we can't have too much knowledge, but the more knowledge we have, the safer we all are, the safer our children are. Knowledge is power. This entire ring blew open here. It blew wide open. You know why? The whole thing blew open when a 15-year-old runaway told police she was being held at a Thomas Drive condo and she was forced to have sex acts for money. I don't know how she got away, but I know she was brave. Anybody who knows about Panama City Beach knows where Thomas Drive is. All the things are going on. They used to have Club La Vila and Club Spinnaker down there, Spinnaker down there. No more. No more. But that's where all the things happens. One victim changed everything. They got the courage and they changed everything. Florida Department of Law Enforcement and Bay County deputies, they executed multiple stings, many of them. And what they found was multiple underage girls, drugs everywhere. Many men was cycling in and out. There were burner phones. And there were fake escort ads. There was IDs hidden in drawers so girls wouldn't leave. So they took their IDs from them. They held them against their will. And there was connections to more homes and clubs than you can imagine. Between 2003 and 2009, arrests were finally made. They were made on traffickers, recruiters, buyers, which is the Johns. Just FYI. A smaller number of club employees, motel owners, they knew what was going on. They allowed criminal activity. Some cases went to federal court. Some victims were brought across state lines. See, a lot of people come from Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia here. That's the main thing. But they come from everywhere. Yep, Michelle. Absolutely. That's where I'm at. So I can tell you it's a tourist town, and it's definitely not good to send your young'uns down here on vacation by themselves like people used to do. It's just not good. Many of these girls was initially charged. Listen, before they changed the laws. Okay, before they changed the laws. And this is why a lot of victims won't come forward. And this is no shade at the law department. They didn't even know. I mean, police, because they didn't even understand this. A lot of people don't understand this, and this is why I want to bring it to the forefront. But laws, because of this, was changed, thank God. Now people has their training, and now people know. But many of these girls, the victims, they were charged back then, not as victims, but they were charged as prostitutes. That's really sad. Then that ended up on their record. Now that was the Florida law at that time. That has since changed. Let that sink in. A 14-year-old girl trafficked, abused, drugged, exploited, and the system punished them. Now they have a record. Will forever have a record. That's why this matters. That's why this matters. It matters because it happens every day, everywhere, to a lot of people. This case played a big role in changing Florida law. So the laws were changed here, thank God. Because of these girls, because of that 15-year-old girl that found courage, Florida made stronger child trafficking laws. They serve penalties to anyone who recruits, entices a minor. I mean, that's a lot of problems and a lot of trouble for them. Now there's protection for minors, and they're no longer charged as an offender, nor should they be. They have to get on the sex offender registry program, and they have stricter club and adult venue now, and very strict ID rules. And that is the truth. They do have that. They have surprise inspections on spring breakers, but now our spring break is nothing like it was 10 years ago. They have cracked down on drinking. It's still pretty bad, and it still gets pretty rough. But the laws have changed. They have curfews. They don't allow drinking at certain times, or blah, 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 blah. So laws changed, and they got very strict. Florida Department of Law, their task force, they got involved. They made the hotels and motels turn in everything and be mandatory. That was one of the new laws. And so they really cracked down on that. Florida law enforcement officers did. And so that is good. They have also safe houses, and they have rescued children, and they take them to those safe houses if they need to go. So if you ever wondered why Florida is, you know, now one of the strictest states in trafficking, it's because of this. Right here in Bay County, it's one of the biggest reasons. This is the truth. I want everyone to remember. Trafficking don't look like the movies. A lot of people don't understand that. We see the movies and we think, oh, that's what it is. No, it's not what it is. It's not always kidnapping. It's not always white vans. Sometimes it's just a motel room. Sometimes it's a club at a back door at a club. Sometimes it's a Facebook message. Sometimes it's just an older guy pretending he cares about them. And sometimes it's happening in your city that you live in your state right now. Sometimes it's right in your backyard. It may even be under your roof. So you need to pay attention. This happens right in front of you, right in front of your eyes. Next door neighbors, preachers, preachers' wives. Nobody is immune to anybody. And let me tell you something, people. This is the worst of the worst scum that does this, in my opinion. Let me ask y'all this. Did you ever hear about any of this in Panama City? Before tonight, you can just put yes or no. Or did you know this? Because it sure happened, and it happens. See? Everybody just thinks it's a beautiful place, a beautiful town. Well, I'm here to tell you it happens all the time. It's still happening, but not like it did back in 2000s, in the 2008, 2009. It happened and it was real. It was huge back then. Now it's a little less, but we need to get it kicked on out of here. It don't need to be going on anywhere, in my opinion. So in this case here, the real signs were, because they were reported to Panama City. And so the real signs were like sudden or older boyfriends. They were coming in with expensive items, maybe with no explanation. Maybe they would go missing for hours or days. They would have the drug use. They would have online accounts that family didn't know about. They didn't want to go home, staying in hotels or condos a lot. They became dropped off by adults, which is a bad sign. You should always know where your child is, who's in those places. Are you serious? There used to be people would want to go to birthday parties and this, that, and the other at the hotels. Yeah, well, if that happens, you better make sure what adult is going to be there. What is really going on? Hey, Judy. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. They were fearful or grumpy and had, different behaviors. And some of them even had tattoos, which was branding them. A lot of times, though, it would be more because they were scared and not defiant. I'm just saying. If you see these signs, you need to act. I don't care where you are, you need to act. It might save a child's life. Be vigilant, stay vigilant. Don't walk on by, don't stroll on by. Pay attention. These girls was somebody's daughter. These girls was somebody's friends, their classmates, their sisters, their nieces, all the things. Some of them still to this day have to rebuild their lives. Some of them are still hurting. Some of them, again, I said, never made it back home. And again, tonight, their pain mattered. It matters to me, and it matters now. It mattered yesterday. It matters tomorrow. Hey, Gypsy. I'm doing good. I hope you're well, honey. Good to see you. But they mattered. And I hope everybody stands with me trying to get this out of their state, their town, their county, their laws changed, whatever. The world is still crazy, but awareness is power. Truth is power. And when we talk about things like this, it can protect the next child. That's going into tonight's deep dive. We've talked about trafficking back in Bay County. We're going to talk about other things, but something even more important. If you recognize any of these warning signs, how do you protect the kids? Well, I know in Florida again changed their laws. There are numbers you can call. I want to put those down. I think Millie dropped one while ago. You got the National Human Trafficking Hotline, which is the 1-800-373-8888. But if you think that somebody is in danger, you can call 911. Human trafficking, it does not usually look like I said, abductions or stranger danger. It looks like manipulation. It looks like grooming. And it looks like control, fear. It looks like addiction. So don't be so judgy there. I'm just saying. When you're judging someone and you're going, ooh, they're dirty, they must be homeless. Ooh, they must be on drugs. They look like it. I can tell what kind of drugs they're on. Ooh. Well, guess what? You just might be looking at somebody that's being trafficked. You really might be turning your nose up, judging somebody, and they really may need your help. They may be alone at that moment, but they may be terrified. They may be scared. They may have been threatened. They may have somebody across the road watching them. You don't know somebody's situation. You need to ask yourself, could they be being trafficked? Some of the signs, again, are being withdrawn, secretive, depressed, angry, and sometimes, yes, defiant. Sometimes, yes. There were signs where these girls were, and a lot of these signs were missed. A lot of people missed the boat. They missed the chance to help out, or they just turned a blind eye. And this happens because traffickers isolate them. They isolate them emotionally, sometimes physically. One of the biggest red flags, a 14-year-old that was hanging out with a 25-year-old, sometimes a 40-year-old adult, that was showing danger. Traffickers often, they claim they're going to protect, they romance these people. I'm going to be your protector. I'm a father figure, that's all. Someone who understands them. I understand you better than anybody could. Sometimes you see the expensive items and you don't know where your kid's getting the money or whatever. Maybe they're getting their nails done or their hair done or clothes or a new purse or shoes or a new cell phone. Where did they get that money? And it's not that they're happy about having those things. They're being groomed, or maybe nothing's happened yet. They're just being groomed. But it will. You got to keep an eye on that. You got to know and you got to ask questions. If there's no job, especially, and there's no explanation, then someone's paving that way for them. If they're missing school a lot, if they're sneaking out, if they're being dropped out at condos or hotels, if they're staying at a friend's house a lot, somebody you've never met, you better get off your lazy butt and go see what's going on. You're not being intrusive. Well, if you are, okay, but you better be. I think your kid's life depends on it. The thing you definitely need to do is be aware, stay woke, stay focused. What, where, when, who your children are around doing what, when, what, who, how, whatever, with. I'm just saying. It's not that your child is lying to you. They might be, but it's not that they're intentionally lying to you, to be lying to you. Maybe they feel they have no choice, or maybe they're being threatened or manipulated. It ain't about you. Right now, you're grown. Right now, it's about your child and your child's safety and your child's welfare. Put your feelings aside. That's right. There's no such thing. Again, there's things that were common in this case. Like traffickers used drugs and the drinks and all that to control. That they didn't do it to party. They didn't give away their free stuff. You know what I'm talking about, to be giving it away. They were going to get something in return. You can make sure of that. It was for control, not to party and kiki it up. They used burner phones, Snapchat accounts, Instagram pages. All of that is hidden from the parents. Traffickers communicate through those applications, and they avoid detection. I hate Snapchat. You would not catch me dead on Snapchat. If you ever see something that says smiley on chat, it ain't me. You wouldn't catch me on that. That's one of the worst ones. That is the biggest, worst ones. Who likes to be on something anyway that the shit disappears? I'm just wondering. I mean, that makes absolutely no. If you have nothing to hide, you hide nothing. Why does shit have to disappear? That was a big, big thing from the start. Traffickers communicate through these to avoid detection. And I absolutely hate it. I hate it. We also could be looking for branding for tattoos. Excuse me, like crowns or some kind barcodes, maybe initials, sometimes just names. And I know that's hard to sort out if it's something like that. Or the dollar sign. Shh. That money sign is right there again. That's horrifying. Just be aware. Be aware. Some the children may freeze up. They may look at the floor when you talk to them or ask them stuff. They may avoid answering questions. They may glance at the adult for approval that they're with to see if they can even speak first. Yep, early 80s. That's control. That's not comfort. That's not taking care of somebody. That's control, right? It's a huge red flag. It's a huge red flag staying with adults and not the parents. Why does your child have to go stay with an adult? There should be absolutely no reason in this world on God's green earth that your child, that your teenager needs to go stay in a hotel or a condo or a motel or whatever, or a trailer or anywhere else, unknown house or anything else on God's green earth with an adult. Sometimes if you ask them, they may say, oh, I'm helping them, or their parents don't care, or whatever, or she needed a place to stay. Stop that. Stop that. This is exactly how Bay County in earlier cases found these people. Let me say something important. This is very important. Traffickers don't kidnap kids. They lure kids. Do y'all hear me? Let me say that again. Traffickers don't kidnap kids. They lure kids. For the back of the room. Traffickers don't kidnap kids. They lure kids. I'm not going to mention no names, but I'm just going to say if your phones and computers and this, that, and the other is so damn tight and shut down, how can you say that somebody was lured? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Prevention starts at home. It starts with conversation. It starts with communication. It starts with the community. It starts with talking to your children. Let me repeat this again. Traffickers don't kidnap kids. They lure kids. What kids should know, but they might not, but what they should know is anyone fake can be online. Anybody can fake their identity. You never know who you're talking to. Hell, adults don't even know who they're talking to. That's why they get busted by the cops. So I'm talking to you adults too. Adults should never be messaging or talking to kids online. I don't want to hear the crap. I thought they were this age. And please tell your kids they never, ever, ever, ever owe anybody any pictures of them, no photos, no nothing, no kind of photos, no way, shape, or form. No one. You got to teach them no one online is their secret friend. There should be no secrets. None. Know where your child is at all times and who they're with. It is so important. Meet their friends, meet their family, know the adults, check the environment. Trust your gut. Your gut. If your gut tells you something's not right, you're probably right. Period. It don't matter how upset the kid gets at you or teenager. It don't matter how much you're embarrassing them. It don't matter if you're trying to protect them. They'll get over it. They will get over it. They will. That too shall pass. Listen, don't blame and shame the kids. Never, ever blame and shame the kids when and if they open up to you about anything. Let them know, they're free to come talk to you. You are a parent first. You're not their friend. You are a parent. But let them know they won't be judged. They need to be able to open up to you about anything. Don't shut that communication down. Don't do anything that's going to shut that communication down. You want them to come to you. You don't want them to stop coming to you. Because if you do that, that's how these traffickers win. You need to pay attention to the mental health of your own children, because they target those. They target those that are lonely. They target those that are depressed, vulnerable, any family problems, any trauma going on, and any kids that feel unseen, which I just can't imagine not letting any child of mine be unseen, but okay. We know for a fact that those kids are out there. The best prevention is connection. You have to connect with your kids. Kids should know no one can touch them. No one, that's their body. No one can touch them. No one can demand photos. No one can make them keep secrets. That's always a say no. We have to tell them these things. It's your job to teach your kids that adults who buy gifts or offer rides somewhere or mentor kids alone, or if they try to isolate them, they want them to avoid other adults, or they ask too many personal questions, that's grooming grooming right there. It's grooming. It's patterns. Never respond to anything when angry. Absolutely. And you may be hurt, but don't get angry. Calm, cool down. Don't shut the children out. Don't shut them out. That's so important. You need to watch and be aware. The Bay County case had many victims. They were foster youth, runaways. They were homeless teens. These kids, and the problem here is you can walk anywhere you want to go. You want to go to the beach? Okay. Walk. You want to walk here to this hotel? Walk. And look, you can't keep your kids locked up all the time, but listen, people. You have to protect them. You have to know what to look for. And that's what I'm trying to bring you. Florida used to be one of the worst states ever for trafficking. Now it's one of the strictest states ever because of this and because of what happened back then. The laws did change, thank God. It is illegal here in Florida to recruit, entice, harbor, transport any minor for sexual purposes. All of that is big here. It's a big no, no, no. I don't care if they say no. But she agreed sometimes that's what they will say. Well, guess what? That's not good enough. No, but he looked older or she looked older or whatever. No, that's not acceptable. No, but he or she wanted to. Yeah, okay. Stop it. Because guess what? A child cannot consent, period. Let me say that again. A child cannot consent, period. That means sex, money, rides here, going here, do this, do that. That's why they're children. Trafficking here, trafficking a minor, get you life in prison here in Florida now. It's a first-degree felony. It's a mandatory sentence, long sentence, up to life sentence. It's very serious. So if you want to spend up to your life in prison, try it. Try it here in Florida, like Grady Judd said. Try it. It should be like that everywhere, in my opinion. In the past, the buyer, the Johns, whatever you want to call them, they used to get slaps on the wrist. Not anymore. Not here in Florida. What they can face too is prison time. They can have to be on the registry. They get huge fines and a lifetime of restrictions. That's what Johns get. So the tables turned a little bit. Children can no longer be prosecuted as a prostitute. They are the victims. Penalties should be a lot worse everywhere. I agree. Florida laws now says they are victims, not criminals. That's a big plus. Hotels and businesses must report. They must report. They have to. Hotels and motels in Florida can be fined. They can be shut down. Anybody that allows known trafficking, or trains their staff improperly or ignores the sign, Florida's not putting up with that. Nor should any state or city put up with that. Just saying. Social workers, teachers, nurses, everybody is a mandated reporter. If they see signs of trafficking, they must report it. Or if they don't, here in the state of Florida, they can and will be held accountable. Florida created this specialized task force. It includes the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Child Exploitation Unit. They have cybercrime teams. They have the local sheriff's office tracking division. They have missing youth response teams. They're on it here. And they will get you. Florida always actively goes online and does undercover stings. They're on there all the time. You see it all the time down south. They get them. Operation Undercover Spring Cleaning, over a dozen of those people were arrested. And every year, including Bay County, they do that over and over and over again. And when they sting, you're going to feel it. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something real from my heart. Traffickers don't care about your child's age. Okay? They don't care. They could care less. They care about weakness. They care about loneliness. They care about addiction. They care about opportunity. So we stop trafficking by taking away opportunity, by being aware, by staying connected, and by choosing to see what everybody else ignores, what everybody else wants to judge, what everybody else wants to sweep under the rug, what everybody else wants to walk by. No child should ever feel disposable. Not in Bay County, not in Florida, not in anywhere in this world. And if this live helps one person, great. If it protects one child, great. Then it's worth every word I'm sitting here saying. Y'all ask why Florida and not somewhere else? It does happen every day somewhere else. But this just happens to be what I'm talking about in my town, in my city. But why Florida in general? Because Florida, it's a big tourism state. It has 138 million visitors a year. Think about that. Swallow that one. It has spring break, whether it's Panama City or whether it's Daytona or whether it's Miami. It don't really matter. It has spring break and thousands of people visit from all walks of life everywhere. There are military bases everywhere in Florida. So there are transients everywhere. There's major highways. You got I-10, I-75, I-95. They're all trafficking pipelines. You got the ports, you got the coastline. That's easy movement. You put it all together, Florida has just become a place where traffickers can all blend in together. They just all blend in together. This isn't a rumor, y'all. This is the truth. This is based on FBI. This is based on Florida Department of Law Enforcement. This is based on national data. But what I'm going to tell you, down in Miami, large tourism industry, hotels, the nightlife, international airports, cruise ports, large escort markets. Okay. All of that's in very high demand. South Florida has one of the highest trafficking levels in the United States. That's a fact. Then you got Orlando. I was just there. I can see why. Boy, them interstates everywhere. Overpasses, underpasses, side passes, hub. And I've always told y'all, a lot don't get reported, but a lot of people go missing from Disney World. It's easy to go in the bathroom, and I knew this years ago, Raymond, come on here. It's easy to take a little kid, go in the bathroom, color their hair, cut their hair, whatever, and walk them on out. And because it's Disney World, it don't get reported a lot, not like it should. But Orlando, it's a huge area of tourism, hotels, runaways go there. They got a bunch of Craigslist ads online that's just crazy. And they got a high flow of seasonal workers, which there again, you got your traffickers, high traffic, tourists, all the things. You know, theme parks, billions of people hide in this chaos. That's what they're looking for. They're sniffing out these kids. They follow them. Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay area, you got your strip clubs, you got your port, you got your high tourism, you got your nightlife, you got your online stuff going on there, and they have had their share of problems there. Many rings. Jacksonville, they got their interstate crossroads, they got their large homeless groups, their homeless youth groups, I should say. They got military bases. They got trucking routes that goes through there. I-95 makes Jacksonville a major trafficking high point. And yes, here we are, Florida Panhandle, including Bay County. Whoop. Surprise, surprise. Not really. It does surprise some people, but it's true. The Panhandle, especially Panama City Beach, Fort Walton Beach, Tallahassee, all of them are major hot spots for trafficking, not only because of spring break, because of the military bases. They have tourism out the wazoo, hotels, motels, condos, Holiday Inns, you name it. They have hidden rural roads. Let me tell you something. Every time I go down one of them damn back roads when I'm going somewhere, I promise you, even with GPS, I get lost. That is no lie. No lie. Gosh, it's not good. You got runaways from Georgia. You got runaways from Alabama. You got the mass and the crystals and all the things here. Got all those cycles. In fact, the Bay County underage trafficking case that happened in the early 2000s, it helped trigger a wave of all these new Florida laws. There was girls experiencing addiction. Traffickers used drugs to control them. They had their homeless youth, especially around beaches and bus stations. They had teens that had older boyfriends. One of the most common methods they use is the older boyfriend thing. Kids meeting strangers online. Florida is number 2. It's the number 2 state for online trafficking and recruitment. In case you didn't know, you know now. So again, all red flags. This will shock you, but it's real. Traffickers in Florida often use what they call the Romeo method, where they're pretending to be a boyfriend. They get them gifts. They love bomb them. They sweet talk them. They do all those things. Then you got your daddy method, your control, your fear, your demand, your punishment. True story. Then you got your drugs. They get you addicted and dependent upon. You got threats. They threaten you. I'll hurt your family. I'll expose your photos. They have social media grooming And this is huge, huge. And it was huge in this Florida case. It was huge back then. Businesses can be fined or shut down again for ignoring these signs. So I need to remind y'all, stay vigilant. Florida Department of Law Enforcement and FBI ran constant stings, and they still do. They do it in Bike Week. They do it in spring break. They do it at all major events. Never forget that. It's a constant battle for them. It's an uphill battle, but a battle that they're willing to take on, and they're willing to win, and they will win. Here's the part where you watching this live can make a huge difference. Pay attention, and if something feels off, it probably is. Do not ignore a child who looks scared in public. Pay attention. Ask quiet questions. Look for signs. It's not always the case, but it could be. If you see something, say something. Know where your kids are at all times. And please, please know who they're with. Don't just take their word for it. Meet the adult in person. Speak with the adult on the phone. Keep contact wide open. Hell, you're on here. Have them checked out. Your child's life depends on it. Talk openly about the online dangers to your children. Be honest. Have an honest conversation to prevent a lifetime of pain. Support the anti-trafficking organizations. Survivors need a safe home. They need safe resources. You know, any of these hot spots, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville, Fort Walton Beach, Panama City Beach, all these, do they surprise you? That's right, Millie. Trust no one. Actually, some of them did surprise me, like Destin. I don't know why, but it's kind of more hidden. But that's a big one. It's a big one. The rest of them, no, they really didn't surprise me. Not at all. But it don't really matter. It's about the children. It's about the children. Listen, y'all, Florida is beautiful. Every single part of it, every corner of Florida is beautiful. But it has dark corners too. And the more we talk about it, the more we shine a light on it. We have to. We have to. That's the day and time we're in. The harder it becomes, the more we talk about it, the harder it becomes for traffickers to hide. We don't want them to hide, right? Awareness saves lives. Openness saves lives. Talking saves lives. Conversation saves lives. And you being here tonight, that matters. You might save a life one day. You don't know. Just be aware. Don't judge. Don't look away. Trust your gut feeling. And if something is wrong, again, it probably is. Listen, now the girl who escaped, she escaped through a hotel clerk. She was 15 years old. She had been trafficked for months. She was taken from a motel to another motel to another one. across this whole panhandle right here. One night, she got a manager. She got a moment alone. I don't know if it was a manager or not. She got a moment alone. One of the desk clerks or managers or somebody helped her. It was a worker. And while her trafficker was outside smoking a cigarette, of all things, she walked to the front desk. She was scared. She was trembling, but she took a chance. She whispered to the clerk, "Can you help me? I'm not supposed to be here." The desk clerk did not freeze up. They didn't bat an eye. He didn't brush her off, and he didn't tell her to wait a minute. He called 911 right then and there. He locked the office door to keep everybody safe until the police came. And in one small moment of human kindness and somebody paying attention to her, her life was saved. Just by somebody listening and not brushing it under the rug, not flinching. Her life was saved. And she was very brave for that. She was very brave. That man was a hero, absolutely. He did not flinch. He called 911 and then locked the damn door. While Smarty Pants was out there smoking a cigarette. He wasn't so smart after all, was he? There was another survivor. She was saved because a school social worker refused to ignore the signs. That's the kind of school people we need. Okay? This girl kept going missing. She just kept missing and missing. And suddenly, she had new phones. Older men were picking her up from school. And when that school called her parents didn't believe anything was wrong. Nothing. But it was the social worker that said, something is not right here. So she called law enforcement. She called DCF. And she pushed and she pushed. And they finally went and did a welfare check. And the check led to this girl's rescue. Sometimes the hero is the one who refuses to look away. It's the one that speaks out. In one Florida case, this teen had been groomed online, but trapped by threats. That's a big one. Maybe they had never even met their groomer, but they are threatened online. Her trafficker controlled her every move, everything about her, everything. They had her in such fear. But she had one lifeline. This, my mama taught me, and I hope you will teach your kids. Thank God I never had to use it. This saved this girl's life. She had one lifeline in her pocket. She had a word, a code she shared with her cousin weeks before this happened. One day, she found where she could send a text. And she said, Tell Grandma the purple flowers are blooming. Her cousin knew that that was their secret alert code, and her cousin immediately called 911. Police tracked the phone, and they rescued her. Within hours, they rescued her. That code word, that code right there, saved her life. Do you know how many times I have heard that in my lifetime? That's from kidnappings, that's from missing children, even in runaway situations. Listen, my cousin that got killed, even when she used the hotline to call my grandmother, she didn't call home. She called my grandmother. And they even used a code, but she had to tell him a certain thing, what her cat's name was, or a cat she used to have, or whatever. I can't remember now, right offhand. But I'm saying that's the only time you should have a secret, is to be safe, a safe code. A safe code. I've watched many of stuff on TV and seen that, and people has used safe codes that has saved their lives. So I do believe in creating a safe word or a safe code or something that somebody's going to know, that they need to get you help ASAP. If you are ever allowed to use that phone or text or something, or even speak in public, anything. In Bay County, this connected case, they connected a case to a teenager, and she was being trafficked, and she was through a condo here. And one night, a man who thought he was meeting an adult realized that she was a minor. He didn't run. He didn't hide. Listen to me, Katie. He didn't run. He didn't hide. He didn't panic. He didn't say, "This isn't my business." He took accountability and he called the police. He actually saved her. He saved her from another monster. From a monster. I'm not saying he was a monster, because he saved her. Maybe he really thought she was an adult. Don't know. But that's what you call accountability. Do you know how easy it would have been for him to get with this young girl? A lot of times these Johns set all this up, right? Sometimes neither party knows what they're getting into. And sometimes the other party don't care as long as they get their satisfaction, right? Sometimes the person who was just part of the demand becomes the one who helps break the cycle. People think escaping is the end, but it's not. It's not the end. It's really just the beginning. It's the beginning. It's the hardest part. And here's what usually happens when one person is rescued. A lot of times there's shock and confusion. The victims feel scared or frozen and numb. They don't trust anybody, nobody, not even the police. Sometimes they need medical care. And sometimes emergency rooms, they need that. They need it for dehydration, drug withdrawal, to check for STDs, injuries, malnutrition, because sometimes they need to be hospitalized and sometimes they need emergency care ASAP. They're in an emotional crisis. Many suffer from PTSD. They have nightmares. They will have nightmares. They are depressed. They disassociate themselves. And they fear because they have this fear in them at all times, 24/7. There's going to be retaliation from their trafficker. That's when specialized advocates usually come in. They need to. And in Florida, they have what they call certified survivor advocates. They have hotlines. They have safe houses. Okay. And they have trauma counselors. These advocates, they help these victims. They help them to understand you're safe now. You're not in trouble. You are a victim. You're not a criminal. This is not your fault. Rebuilding takes time. Healing is not fast. It's not easy. It's not simple, but it is possible. Some survivor in their interviews across Florida, these were some of the things that they said that made the biggest difference in their life and the biggest difference in them being found or not trafficked. They said it was someone believing in them, someone not judging them, someone staying patient with them, offering safety, and someone calling 911 when they could not. Someone noticing the signs, they said. Someone actually speaking up. Survivors said this. Survivors have said the same things over and over again. It only took one person to save a life. And if you think someone's in danger, please call one of these hotline numbers. We got the human trafficking, the 1-888-373. Is it 373? Lord, 7888. Sorry. And then you can text 233-733 from your phone. If you need Florida Department of Children's Hotline, Families Hotline, DCF, that's 1-800-962-2873. And then they have the cyber tips. But, they have the safe houses. The safe houses is called Soleil Freedom, One More Child. They got the Gulf Coast Children's Advocacy Center. That's a big one here. That's huge here. That's very huge. They have all of these things. Hold on just a minute. Hold on, I'm sorry. Hold on. but you can't allow them to win. You just can't allow them to win, because they will try. Don't shame the kids. Let them open up. Pay attention to their mental health. All of that. I don't care who they are. Teach them to say no. Teach them to say no, right? Because the traffickers, they don't care about your child. They don't care about their age. They care about who's weak, who's vulnerable. They care about all of that kind of stuff. That's what they care about. That's absolutely all that they care about. And then how it's going to benefit them. So pay attention. Pay attention. Okay. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. But anyway, they have the safe houses. They have all that. They have at least 5, 6, 8 of them here. But these places are for housing, counseling. They have legal help, medical care, education, and they have, the protection. Some of the survivors, they'll stay for weeks. Some of the survivors, they'll stay for years, unfortunately. But all of them, no matter how long they stay, they're treated with dignity. But at least they have some type of help, somebody who's really going to help them, somebody who cares about them. They're not out there in these streets. Don't worry, y'all. Money won't come out of your pocket. Don't worry. All it's going to cost you is your time to take notice. If you think something's wrong and call 911, you might actually save a life. Listen, notice these signs. Don't assume a scared kid is a bad kid. Don't do that. Not every scared kid is a bad kid. They may be a victim. Teach your kids code words. Again, one phrase, one sentence, or one word may save a life. Share the hotline numbers. Have your children memorize them. Sorry to say, in this day and time, things like that need to be memorized. Make sure they know how to dial 911. I believe survivors deserve love. I believe they deserve healing, and I believe that they deserve a future. Every survivor, everyone, anyone this ever happened to, whoever escaped, to every child, everybody who ever fought to come home, to every girl who whispered, "Help me," and every stranger who listened. Your stories matter. They matter then. They matter now. They will matter tomorrow. Your life matters. You survived. That strength. And as long as I have a voice and a platform, anybody is welcome here to talk about that. I will keep shining light on it. Maybe not all the time, but I will, because their life matters and they are out there. I want to watch this it's a very short news clip. Oh, hold on just a minute. Let me put up, who did this? News Channel 2 did it. Let me put up a little bit of music very quietly here. see. Let's share.
You think of human trafficking, the first thing that might come to your mind is a white van luring kids with a bag of candy, but that's not usually the case. As News 13's Grace Velez tells us, people got the opportunity today to hear from experts about stopping one of the largest growing crimes in the world.
Florida ranks third in the country for the number of reported human trafficking cases. Florida State University's Panama City campus hosted the third annual Human Trafficking Summit Tuesday to discuss prevention.
It's creating that awareness of what human traffic really is, and it's really about exploitation. And traffickers are not necessarily the creepy individuals that we associate them with.
Experts presented the latest crime trends and tactics that can victimize people of all ages. One presentation explored the online threat of sextortion.
They might exchange photographs with that person, that being nude images, and then after the photographs are exchanged, the suspect in the case reveals their true identity is not who they thought they were. And now they're usually demanding money to prevent the victims' images from being shared with family, friends, and online.
King works with the Internet Crimes Against Children unit, supporting law enforcement in their investigations against online exploitation.
So about 8 to 10 years ago, if you told me that someone was being extorted online for nude images, I would tell you that 9 out of 10 times it was a young female. Unfortunately, while that was the case, now we've seen a transition to where it's a sextortion based on the need of money, and those being targeted, NCMEC reports over 90% are young males.
King says the predators target adolescents with a lot to lose, and sometimes the online victims turn to suicide.
Unfortunately, the number that I've been told is somewhere around 50 young males have taken their lives in the last couple of years across the United States.
Many of the attendees were law enforcement, military, forensic interviewers, or students hoping to equip themselves with the tools to fight human trafficking.
As awareness grows and just educating the community, because we have a lot more trafficking in Bay County than most people realize, and that comes in both sex trafficking and labor trafficking. We have heightened values of both in this area.
Often, that crime plays out in your smartphone. In Panama City, Grace Velez, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
If you suspect human trafficking, immediately call the human trafficking hotline, the number 855 Florida SAFE, FLASAFE.
That's just one of many. That's just one of many. There is plenty. Get this music off, it always distracts me. There is plenty of videos on this. I don't know that I can read this, but you can all remember. Do y'all even remember when they had Girls Gone Wild here? That company was sentenced to pay $1.6 million in fines for sexual exploitation here. And that I'll put this on my, in fact, let me just do this, because I don't think I can read all that little bitty print. Hold on, I'm gonna actually put it, where am I at? Where am I at, y'all? Where am I at? Here I am. Where am I at? Okay, I'm gonna put this link in here. Okay, so that link right there, that is the Girls Gone Wild thing. Let me put it in there again, and I will put it on my other page, on my post as well, and y'all can just read over that if you want to, or anybody that wasn't in here can read it at some point. But you know, that Girls Gone Wild thing, there was a lot of stuff going on at that time, a lot, and it was just wild. But they got fined back then. But a lot of these laws have changed. Florida as you heard on that news thing, I think I read you earlier, number 2, we're number 2 in the Panhandle. Now it said that we're number 3, so that means we're making progress. We're definitely making progress. You know, I'm just telling you, please, please be vigilant with your children, your family members, and all of those things, because there are people that you would not even expect, doctors, lawyers, policemen. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. And again, we're not here to hurt anything or any businesses. Things happen every day in every city, every state, every town. Men, women, and we talk mostly about girls, but they want boys too. There's a lot of people who have not made it home, who have not been found here, I know, and we don't know. Could it be trafficking? We don't know. Don't know. So drop a heart or praying hands in the chat or something if you stand for protecting our kids, because I know I do. I am against this stuff. I hope this helps someone. I thank you all for being here with me. I thank you for caring enough to be here and to sit through this. I thank you for choosing, to be a part of it and trying to understand it. It's not something that's easy to understand. You hear the word all through your life, and a lot of times a lot of people don't even know what it is. But just don't judge. Don't say, oh, they're on drugs, or oh, they're homeless. Make it a point to see if that is really what's going on. That's all I have for y'all. I love you very much. Thank you for being here. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, mods. And I'll see you in the streets. YouTube streets, that is. Y'all have a great night. Bye.